All right, the 21st head basketball coach in NC State men's basketball history is Will Wade, and he joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing well, Adam. How are you?
I'm doing very well. The first question of these types of interviews for me, it's like, I do a fair amount of writing, and starting is always the hardest part. And when you and I have never spoken before, I've watched you, I've watched you coach, I've seen your press conferences. So as I was watching your press conference the other day, the one before the game, the one when you were introduced here, it struck me as interesting that you were the one who brought up what happened at LSU. You were the one who brought up why you were at McNeese State. And I'm curious because I found that fascinating and I think eye-opening to me. Why did you bring that up before anybody else did?
Well, there's no need to run from it. It's the elephant in the room. And, as time has gone on, you get more and more comfortable. You get more and more reflective on things. And so I choose, just like I do most issues with my team and most things with my players, I think the best way to address things is head on. And so I didn't want to leave anything to chance with that. And I thought addressing that and owning that and being forthright with everything was the best way to go about it.
Yeah, the truth is that, reporters in the room were probably ready to ask it. You've taken away their question. They have to come up with other questions now, Coach. That's not good for us. We're not very good at this. I think your honesty also about the approach, and this is where I was getting tangled up in my own question. I told you the first question's not easy. That your honesty with your own team, when there was interest in you from the part of NC State and I'm sure other schools, and there was interest in your team, in the transfer portal, and probably other schools in them through the portal because you win a lot of games. Why did you choose that approach as well? Not many coaches do.
I just think that's who we are. We've been honest with the players all throughout the recruiting process. We're honest with the players all throughout the season. There's no need to stop. I believe this. I believe your success in life is directly correlated to how many difficult conversations you're willing to have. And if you're not willing to have difficult conversations, and if you just pretend like things are going to go away or things are going to work themselves out, in some situations they do, but in most situations you got to address it head on. And I think us having relationships with our guys, our staff having relationships with the players, and us being able to address all of that head on, it wasn't a surprise. It allowed us to stay focused, and it allowed us to play our best when we needed to in the game against Clemson. And so I thought it was a really good way to handle it with our group. But that was months of groundwork that we had put in with relationship building with the players, that the players had put in, and believing in us and knowing that they were going to get the truth. But there's no need to tap dance around it. We might as well address it, and then we can move forward. And that's what we did.
Will Wade is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I remember when I first started doing this, and I was covering a Final Four in St. Petersburg. Duke lost to Connecticut, and Coach K comes into the press conference after their loss to UConn. UConn was a pretty great team then, too. And he said, we don't coach for championships, we coach for relationships. And, me, I was a young, idiot. We thought, well, come on, he's just rationalizing. And maybe there was a part of that was rationalizing. How true is something like that statement?
I think there's more truth in it than people want to believe.
Yeah.
Look, I got into this. I'm a high school history teacher by trade. My mom was a principal for 30 years. My background's in teaching. You don't get into teaching to get rich. You get into teaching to help people improve their lives. You get into teaching. My wife's a teacher, but you get into teaching to enrich people and help them move forward and help them get a leg up in life that maybe they wouldn't get otherwise through education or whatever means you can do that. We just do that now on a bigger platform with basketball. At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. The more you invest in the players, the more you invest in their lives, the more you invest in them being the best version of themselves, look, the winning's going to take care of itself. The better they'll play, the better they'll play basketball wise, and just the better relationships you can have with them because they're authentic. And so that's what we try to do. That's the basis of our program. And as long as we have those firm building blocks and we're built on a solid foundation and not quicksand, then you can use those relationships to make sure that the guys are always doing what's best for themselves and what's best for their future selves. And so that's what we enjoy. We enjoy the relationships while we have them. We enjoy the relationships when they're gone. I've had a bunch of our former players reach out. They're going to come back to Raleigh and work out this summer with us and spend time with us, which is awesome. That's what you want, and that's what you do it for.
Well, Wade is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. You have obviously some roots in the ACC, having gone to Clemson. Why do you think the ACC? I mean, do you think it was just one of those things that happens, like all sorts of like events conspire, and all of a sudden the league is down and other leagues are up? Why do you think the ACC has really the last couple of years, maybe 3 years, been not what it was when you were, on campus?
I think that there's been transition. There's been a lot of transition with different head coaching vacancies. There's been a lot of transition within the league with the transitions and the coaching. That leads to a lot of player transitions because you can't have continuity with the players. You can't have continuity with the staffs. And I think you're starting to see, some of these programs are in their second or third year, and I think they're going to blossom as they move forward. But it's just been tough in this couple year transition. I have no doubt that the ACC is going to be back extremely strong and extremely and very, very healthy as a conference, because you're going to see these new coaches and some of these guys that have taken over for these legends be able to establish themselves and establish their programs.
What attracted you the most to NC State?
I think they've got a tremendous we've got a tremendous basketball history, which is number one. We've got a passionate fan base. We're in a fertile recruiting area and a fertile recruiting state. We've got commitment. I mean, from our president to our athletic director to our administration. I mean, everybody is committed to making this basketball program the best it can be. And so when you have everybody on one accord like that, like we have here at NC State, gives you the best chance to win. And so, I've got to provide the leadership within our program and take advantage of, the resources that we've been given, take advantage of the opportunity that we've been given. And a lot of it's, been a lot of hard work has been laid by a lot of people before we got here. We're just stewards of the program right now until they tell me not to do it anymore, which hopefully is a long time, But, look, we're the stewards of the program right now from all the hard work that's been done and the administrative commitment. And now we've got to take advantage of all of that. And if we do that, I think the sky's the limit for our program.
Yeah, it's interesting. Rod Brindamore is the coach of the Hurricanes here. And when Rod got the job like 7 years ago, he says, look, we all know how this is going to end. And he was ultimately referring to, because at some point you get fired as a coach. So he at his introductory press conference. So I guess the goal is to make as many memories along the way as you can. So that just struck me as funny. Do you have philosophy about how you want to build this program out? Is it through, I know it's a combination of all of that, but does your basis have to be ultimately recruiting out of high schools, or is it through the portal?
It's a combination. You want to get 2 to 3 really good high school kids. You want to get 3 to 4 kids out of the portal, and then you want to retain over half your roster each year. If you can do that, you're going to have a successful program. Now, we've got we're in a balancing act now of getting some freshmen. We're in a balancing act now of getting some kids who can be multi-year college players. We're in a balancing act. You get some guys who are going to be some seniors. And so we've got to get the roster balanced out these first couple of years. That's going to take some time. But once we get it balanced out, the perfect for us is to be adding, 4 to 6 kids a year and retaining 6 or 7 kids a year. If we do that, You're going to have, if you look at the minutes continuity on these Final Four teams, Florida, Houston, like these guys, Duke has the least, but they've got the most talent. But the minutes continuity of Florida and Houston is tremendous, like over 70% from the previous year, and Auburn's the same way. So I don't think there's any secret about that. I don't think there's any. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, so I don't think that's a coincidence. And I think that there's a reason those guys have been successful. So we got to retain the right guys, so we have some continuity with the minutes, and add the right pieces every season.
Will Wade,
whether it be in high school or the transfer portal.
Yeah, and you brought up Duke, and yes, they have the most talent, but I think it's significant that Tyrese Proctor is in his third year at Duke, and he has been there and done that and seen that. Not to mention some of the, even though through the portal they bring in such leadership with Mason Gillis from Purdue and Sion James, who you might be familiar with only because you were at McNeese for a couple of years while he was at Tulane in New Orleans, and obviously he has been a tremendous player and a huge addition to them. I don't want to forget doing this because I'm really not sure how much time we've got. I know your schedule's kind of tight. As a Clemson guy, I know your love because I watched the press conference before McNeese State, before you guys played Clemson in the tournament. I know your love of Clemson football. And Clemson and State do not play this year. First of all, are you happy about that? And secondly,
listen, I'm all behind Coach Doran and NC State now. That's over with. So you can forget all that. I'm all about the Wolfpack, all about the red and black, and I want NC State football to win every game, and I want NC State football to be incredibly successful. And so I'm that part of the fandom is over, and it's all NC State.
It's certainly convenient though that they do not play each other this year. You can ease your way into that.
Yeah, there's no easing my way into it. I'm 10 toes in with the Wolfpack. So
all right, good. I'm glad to hear that. You brought up Duke and Houston, and Auburn and Florida and Houston. When you look at this Final Four, how do you see a clear favorite? I mean, obviously they're all great teams. Anybody can win it. How do you look at this Final Four?
I think they're all four great teams. Look, you've got one of the best defensive teams in the country in Houston. You've got some great offensive teams with Florida and Auburn and Duke. So I mean, I think it's wide open. I think this is as good a group as we've had in the final. I think I saw something where each of these four have the advanced metrics that are better than 10 out of the last 11 national champions.
Yeah.
Like all four of these in a normal year would basically be national championship level teams. So that shows just how good these teams are. It should be an exciting weekend.
Oh, it should be an absolute.
We want to be a part of here soon.
Well, I mean,
again,
State was there last year. I was there, and I don't know how much this played into your decision to embrace the Wolfpack, but I was there in Glendale last year. When, it was kind of a miracle run, and they had a tough regular season and then won the ACC and got to the Final Four, which was an awesome experience. But I'm telling you, I have not seen anything like the NC State takeover at the Final Four. Was that evident to you? I don't know if you were there last year at all or not. Was it evident to you in the process of you deciding to come to State just how they show out for things like this?
I was not at the Final Four last year, but look, we've got tremendous fans. It was very evident through the process how passionate our fans are, how excited our fans are. I said this earlier. We have an SEC-level fan base, and now it's time for us to deliver a big-time winner that these folks deserve.
Is Amir Khan your first recruit?
He'll be up there. We'll see. We're going to have him on a visit here soon, I think.
What an absolute show that was during the NCAA tournament. I'll let Will Wade go there. Congratulations, sir. We'll certainly be looking forward to the sellout. What is it, November 3rd at Lenovo Center?
That's right.
All right.
19-5.
Do we know who's the opponent going to be? Do we know that yet?
To be determined. We're still working on that.
All right. Thank you very much. Congratulations to you. We'll talk soon.
Thanks for having me on. Look forward to coming on multiple times during the year.
Hey, anytime. I'll give you my number if you want. You can just text me whenever you want to come on.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you soon.
You got it.